At the COP26 summit, which incidentally happened in Glasgow, our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, started with a mantra from the Vedas, and he said, Samgachadhvam samvadadhvam samvo manansi janatam deva bhagam yatha purve sanjananam upasate. Which means, let's walk together. Let's speak in one voice and have the same attitude towards what he called life, which was lifestyle for environment. We at IIM Indore, we pride ourselves in talking of us and ourselves as a contextually relevant business school with world-class academic standards, but particularly that actually brings out socially conscious managers, leaders, and entrepreneurs. And as a part of it, one of the things that I would very briefly like to talk about is the Prime Minister gave a Panchamrit formula in COP26 where he made 5 promises to the rest of the world on behalf of our country. Likewise, when we started looking at what does socially conscious mean, what does being socially conscious mean to an institute such as an IIM, and IIM Indore in particular, we said we are going to talk and we are going to develop solutions to real life problems. And therefore we said, not only are we going to create and disseminate knowledge, but we are going to create, curate, practice, and disseminate knowledge that actually solves real world problems. And we identified 5 real world problems. The first problem that we identified was income inequality, which with increasing globalization has just increased. And therefore we said we need to do something about it. And therefore, what IIM Indore did was, it started helping out a state government with their program called One District, One Product. And likewise, you would know that we have recently signed an MOU with the district of Harda in Madhya Pradesh, and we are going to help them in developing their product, which is bamboo. And then the second thing that we did was we started a kind of a movement where we conducted a series of workshops on financial literacy for women, because that was one of the areas we said we need to address. So this is so far as the income inequality is concerned. The second was rural development, that 833 million people in India live in the rural areas. 833 million. That's more than the entire population of Europe and US combined. And therefore, clearly, we need to address the issues that they face. And thus, IIM Indore changed and transformed its rural immersion program into a rural engagement program, where not only do our students study the problems of the people who live in the rural areas, but they actually live there and experience those problems. Not only makes you sensitive, but also makes you compassionate, which means not only do you get affected by the problem of others, but you also do something to alleviate it, to mitigate it. The third we looked at were urban problems. And one of the problems in the urban areas that we looked at was traffic. And therefore, very early, IIM Indore came up with a solution for traffic problem in Indore. And as you know, we announced it on our foundation day this year that we are also establishing a center of excellence, which is going to deal with 2 big urban management problems, urban area problems. One is the waste management, and the second is the WASH project, which is water, sanitation, and hygiene. And therefore, IIM Indore is going to train all the 4,800 urban local bodies to make sure that India becomes cleaner, more hygienic, and healthier. The fourth thing that we looked at was environment. And therefore, very early, we banned single-use plastic. We made sure that we go for organic farming, and many people thought, why on earth is a management institution doing organic farming? Why are we harvesting vegetables? But the whole point was first to get people, get their hands dirty with the soil, to understand soil, and of course to enrich the soil. We have started water harvesting. We have started deriving energy from renewable sources. So we have solar panels from which we get almost 10% of our energy. And we are doing a whole lot of things to make our campus greener and more spiritual. And finally, the entrepreneurship. We wanted people to develop that sense of entrepreneurship inside them, and therefore, apart from having programs like GMPE, and apart from having certain executive programs, we also converted our incubation center into a Section 8 company in terms of incubation foundation, where not only are we going to incubate ideas, but perhaps in the times to come, we are also going to provide them with an accelerator. And in the Center of Excellence, we are going to incubate and even seed fund those ideas who work in the field of waste management and water sanitation and hygiene.